guys, welcome to the Blackspin Global Podcast. I am Lucy.
And I'm Eugene.
And welcome to the last pod of the year.
Wow, crazy. To be fair, it's not going to be the last one, you know. Because we've got something cooking, don't forget.
Do we?
We do.
Okay, apparently I don't remember.
But it's our last pod.
It's our last pod.
Like, yeah.
And
we have a special guest.
We've got a special guest. New guest.
Friend of the pod now.
New friend of the pod. We had another friend of the pod supposed to join, but they decided to,
Friend of the pod and colleague as well.
Friend of the pod and colleague as well. Uche from the
Daily Telegraph. I mean, you don't mind us saying that, do you?
That's absolutely fine. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for inviting me. It's an honour and a genuine privilege to be here. The work you guys have been doing on the podcast and on your brand, your empire that you've got going.
Empire, stop it.
Has been incredible. So, Eugene has been saying we want to get you on.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
I am delighted to be here, so thank you.
No, I appreciate
Thank
you,
you
man,
so
honestly.
much. That was really nice.
No, I honestly appreciate it. And like you said, I've been saying for a long time, we need you on the pod. So I'm happy we can get you on for the final season-ending pod.
Yeah.
And like I said, long overdue. So thank you, man.
And we were supposed to have Tamani join us, but unfortunately he couldn't. So
Yeah.
shout out to him. It's supposed to be like a nice little
I know. It was
big
supposed to be
group
like
thing, but it will happen.
thing.
It will happen for sure anyway.
But shouts out to Tamani though. He's done his backing, unfortunately. So wishing Tamani a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
But I think we should just get into it because it's going to be we've got a lot to cover.
A lot to cover.
It's been a good year, Lucy. I mean, you've said otherwise. I've seen in some tweets.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been a good year. But we can get into that.
Well, I think we should start into that actually.
Really?
Don't you think so?
Go for it.
I'll start with you actually.
Okay.
How do you, without going too much into details, because we are going to talk about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, how do you feel about, or how did you feel about the tennis season this year?
I think the WTA tour outshone the men's tour 100%. I think the men's tour has got a bit predictable, but you can't be too negative against the greatness that we've seen this year, especially from Djokovic. But in terms of competition and wanting to see good tennis, I don't think we've seen that enough on the men's side, but on the women's side, we've had that. So I think it's been a good year, but if we go back to your last pod, I think this is genuinely just a warm-up. I think 2024, with the players coming back, the storylines and everything going forward and the way this year has ended, I think, and I hope, next year is a big one.
Yeah,
no,
that's pretty good.
I agree with that.
It's funny because I felt like that for a while, that WTA is like carrying, but when you actually think about the entire year, it's true. Like they've really been doing their thing. Yeah. Honestly speaking, for me personally, okay, this is what I meant, right?
I think I should go next because
go.
Because yours is yours is quite controversial. I'm kind of with you, Uche. Like I feel like the year's been good on the WTA side, but also on the ATP too. Because I feel like you've had, like, obviously Novak's kind of dominated in terms of the Grand Slams, which we all know. But yeah, Mikael Ymer he won Wimbledon. I like how we've got like the younger guys now kind of showing that they can basically play and compete. So I'm a big fan of Holger Rune. I've always kind of said that. Yannick Sinner's improved as well this year, I think, massively. And that's in the top 10. And below that, you've got like Ben Shelton, who we've gone on a lot about. So that's the ATP, for instance, or that's the ATP for me. WTA now, I mean, we've had 4 different Grand Slam winners. That, for me, that's quite, I mean, that's something. Obviously, Coco Gauff dominated like the US hard court swing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's a lot of like variety like in the women's game, which is like exciting.
Yeah.
So I can't like subscribe to the idea that like it's been like an underwhelming like year, like in terms of excitement. I think there's been quite a lot of excitement. Over to you, Lucy.
You used the perfect word, excitement. I feel like this year was the first time where I can count with one hand the amount of time I was like, I love this sport. Like the matches were like really, like for example, like end of the season, I always have like a list of like my favorite matches. I feel like this year I don't really have that.
Wow, okay.
Do you get what I mean? Like I think besides a lot of people, I think their favorite match is probably the Djokovic and Alcaraz Wimbledon final. Another favorite of mine was, I think it was Sinner and Alcaraz. Can't remember, one of the first hardcore tournaments like earlier
Like
this
Miami
year.
or something. I think it was Miami.
No, it was before Miami, I
Really?
think. But it was like an indoor one. It was really good. That was like, it was a really good match. But I don't know. I feel like overall, it was messy, unorganized. I didn't have like a lot of or even like there'll be matches where you see the draw, you're like, this match is gonna bang.
Yeah.
And you watch it and it's like, this match was so underwhelming. That's how I felt. Whereas last year, like even the US Open, for instance, US Open is like my favorite like Grand Slam personally. And normally one of the things I love about it is that there's always entertaining matches.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was not really hitting to like a little bit of the second.
Not even
Compared to the usual.
Yes.
Compared to the usual. Normally US
I mean,
Open.
look at our t-shirts. I mean, what are you talking about?
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. This is why I could not really describe it, because it's like there's some aspect. Don't get me wrong. Like I feel like black spin aside. Black spin aside. That's what exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I said initially. Black spin aside, this year has been really underwhelming. Like US Open, normally when it's on, the second it's on at 4 p.m, I am locked in till like 2, 3 a.m. This US Open, I didn't really need to do that.
No.
Like a lot, like it wasn't really, I don't know. I feel like the quality of the matches were not up there for me. And I think a lot of the things that were happening outside of the court or even on the court, for example, people complaining about the balls, people complaining about the schedule, people complain, like there were so many things going on, and I think that affected the quality of the matches. But when it comes to us, and when I mean us, I mean like Black Spin Global, it was fucking fantastic. Like it was great. Like it was, I couldn't believe it. But aside, like you put that aside, I don't know.
No,
that's
a valid argument, I guess. Do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, no, I think that's why I kind of go back to, again, it was almost the warm-up, because it's a bit of a transition year almost to now. Hopefully next year we'll see a lot of the players that have risen up this year take it on to the next level, improve a lot more, win more matches, especially at the Grand Slams as well, which is where they really need to turn up. The likes of Shelton, they've got to go back to back now. Like you got to the semi-finals of the US Open, get to the semi-finals again. You got to the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, start of the year. Get yourself ready in these next couple of weeks. You get there early and you prep yourself and you get there again, because there's no reason why, especially on a hard court, that you shouldn't be getting into the quarterfinals. You've got a good seeding there as well now, I presume. So
top 20, yeah.
It's about going again, you know, and not having that drop off in level, because you drop down in level, you drop down in rankings, and it just becomes a struggle again. You worked really hard to get to this point. We go again.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of the news quickly before we kind of get into like the nitty gritty. So I've got here Arthur Thies being the biggest climber on the tour. So he started the year at 250 in the world and ended at 36. So yeah, he's now a top 50 player, 19 years old still, or still a teenager even. And yeah, he finished runner-up at the ATP Next Gen Finals in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where he fell to the 20-year-old Serb Hamad Medjedovic, who's quite well known. Like he
has like a nice story. Like apparently Novak
exactly
paid for like for him to like play this year or something like that.
Basically, like Novak's helped fund his career, which is really quite nice. And he's got a nice game as well. So I think he's someone that we should be looking out for. I want to say he's like he's top 100. No, he's just outside the top 100. I think he's top 120.
Okay.
Around there. So he's someone that probably will be in the top 100 come 2024. Just quickly on the Next Gen Finals, like what do you guys, or how did you guys feel about the Next Gen Finals? Like, did you watch any of it? And like, what are kind of your thoughts on the tournament?
Yeah, no, we spoke about it, and we watched some bits while we were together, and I thought it's disappointing that Arthur didn't get the job done. I think he was the highest ranked player there. Full credit to his opponent, but for me, he had to go in there and win it, get the job done, and you see the amount of people that have won it in the past. Put your name amongst them as like, I'm coming. This is I'm going to attack it next year as well. So it's disappointing, but again, he's shown you what he's shown what he can do. Get to Australia, before Australia, you go practice with Rafa.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Make the absolute most of that time. Take everything in that you can about your diet and the training, everything you can.
Facts.
Get to Australia. Is he doing the ATP Cup? Do you know with France at all?
Don't think so.
Okay.
So, no.
Well, wherever he is, Auckland or Brisbane, whatever, get there, be prepared, get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals again. I want to see him get to the second week at minimum at the Australian Open.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
I think he's capable of doing that. He's just outside the seedings because he's 36, 37. But yeah, basically no player is going to want to see him first round.
No.
So like that's for him. Like I wouldn't say it's a free hit, but
and he's really good on hard court as well. So.
Yeah, and I think this will be his debut as well in Australia because he didn't play Australia last year.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot to be excited about with Arthur Fils, which you've said throughout the year.
Yeah.
That's why the training needs to be is key with Nadal in terms of the conditioning. If he's not been to Australia before, if he gets there and the humidity and the heat gets to him, it could damage him quite badly. So get your warm weather training in, get adjusted to the climate and whatnot, get to Australia, then after that, and then
that's a great shout on that as well. So I don't know if you guys saw on the ATP website, there was they did like a combine with the next gen players. So it was like basically like a workout, like physical test.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
and like
it.
he came out on top of every single one.
Yeah.
So it just shows like his level in terms of like his physicality.
It's not even just that. What I saw from him when I watched that was how competitive like he was. Like he didn't care about it. He was just like, did I win? Did I have the best? Like did I? Like that's all he cared about. So that was the most interesting thing. But even with that thing with Nadal, apparently Nadal's the one that actually reached out to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Federer used to do it
with Felix.
Yeah. So it's not. I wasn't like completely shocked to hear.
I don't know. I still was, because Nadal is a little bit more in his corner.
But he's got like academies, like...
No, but like Federer is more of the type to call someone and be like, call like a younger player and be like, come, let's practice.
Yeah.
Novak even more. Nadal not that much.
Interesting.
Nadal is still like, even now all his announcements that he's doing about, it's so funny because it's like, I may retire, I may not, I may retire, I may not.
More on that later. But
but with Fils, like, yeah, just like Uche said, like, honestly speaking, I actually thought like, yeah, he's clear. Like, I was like, yeah, this is for him. It would have been like great, like for him to just bag that and give him that boost that he needed for like the next season. But he's been working really hard this year, anyways.
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty happy with this season.
Oh yeah.
Like he's won a title. He's won 2 titles, a challenger and an ATP 250.
And he's been like 3 finals, I think.
Exactly, and like a lot of like semi-finals as well.
Yeah.
So he's had a fantastic year, and like you said, Uche, like there's kind of like, I guess the early part of this year will be kind of a free hit-ish for him because he doesn't really have that many points to defend.
Yeah.
But in the latter stages of the season, he will start to have points to defend. But just on the Next Gen Finals, like, what are your guys' like thoughts on that tournament? And like, because for me, I was thinking, where's the WTA equivalent? Like, surely the WTA should have something similar.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Do you know what's so funny? I didn't really think of that till I saw you like writing it down. Like, I don't know. I really don't know why there isn't.
Because I like the idea of it.
I like the idea of it. I think it's great. I think it could probably get a little bit more promo, but it's kind of hard because it's at the time where, like, it's after the WTA and ATP finals.
Yeah.
By that time, a lot of people like clock out, but it's still a great time for tennis fans to try and know who's the next, person to like young person to like come in the game and stuff.
Because for me, a shout would be, sorry to cut you, a shout would be like, why not have
Both of
it
them
run
together.
alongside? Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could have the
Yeah, that's
WTA
true.
finals going along with the
ATP.
next gen WTA finals, and the ATP finals going along with the next gen ATP finals.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, who's to say if the this rumored merger happens that doesn't happen?
Yeah,
because it would make sense.
exactly.
I don't think they sold it well enough.
Yeah.
For us Brits here, it's on Amazon. It was on Amazon Prime Video, but you have to really work hard to go and find it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as if there's adverts saying meet the next gen unless you're on social media.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
you're a genuine fan.
And a genuine fan. You have the tennis authorities need to do a lot better in terms of marketing their players.
100%.
At the end of the day, because it's
100%.
it's appalling at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
You know, like you don't know when these events are happening, and it's like these are your best 8 players, whether it's the ATP or the WTA finals. These are your best 8 young players coming through. These are going to be the future. You've got to keep hammering that point.
Facts.
100%.
Facts, yeah. Definitely.
Great point.
I think that's what like Sharapova said like earlier this year. Like she was like, well, a couple months ago,
US Open,
saying that tennis just had like a massive marketing like problem, because what she was trying to say was, after the like during the US Open, you get all of these fans. You have Coco winning, but I bet you 90% of these people don't know where she is next. Like, how do you take advantage of attracting all of these people to then make sure that they follow wherever she's at? You know, like watching the next tournaments in Asia and stuff.
I think it's unfortunate for her because of the writers' strike. Because I imagine after winning the US Open, she would have been on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, these late night TV shows and talking.
She did some morning stuff.
Yeah, she did some morning stuff.
Yeah, that's morning stuff. But normally you're meant to. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you go on
that's
those, and even if you've done the morning stuff, the evening stuff. It's another opportunity to sell yourself
I didn't
again.
Think of that. That's a great point.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's a great point. Naomi Osaka, actually, just quickly in the news, she's back hitting again. So we're very excited about that. What did we make of that video? I loved. What was the tweet you put out? The quote tweet. What did you say about?
About what? Which one?
Basically, people being scared. Like, let me find it.
On which one? All I know is, listen,
it's about to go down.
And you're like,
it's about to go down for real. WTA players, I know you were shaking when you saw them videos. I know you called your coach and was like, yo, let's get to training because this is getting ridiculous.
Well, I need to find the tweet.
Did you see how she was hitting?
Clean. Crushing it.
Can't stop watching this. I don't think you're ready for her.
You guys are not ready for her.
And then you said, Osaka said, no music for the real. They're going to hear me hit.
Yeah.
No music. She said no music. Can you hear that? Listen, she had to remind you people who the hell she is. Like, she's just coming in with different... I can feel the energy already by just the little Instagram post. Like, it's just there.
It kind of felt like she hasn't been away. Like, obviously, you when you're just, like, hitting, you can kind of look anyhow, but, like, there was something about that. I was like, well, yeah, she looks good.
Listen,
like, she looks very good.
Her first post when after she gave birth, she was like, well, that was a nice little intermission, like back to business. She was already letting you guys know, like, listen, don't think because I'm a mum now that I'm just gonna be chilling. You know how Osaka is. She likes to act like all calm and nice, but then when she's on that court, we're not boys anymore.
Yeah. I think she's going to be very hungry this year. Oh, yeah. And I'm very excited to see.
I cannot wait. I think, and the best thing as well is that you can see everyone's excitement.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as she posts, everyone is just like,
on it.
And not even just fans, players as well. Like, everyone is like excited to like literally see her. So good luck, guys. Good luck to you guys. We are going to be entertained. All I know is Osaka's going to come back and it's going to be crazy.
So she's making a return at in Brisbane, Australia, like Rafa Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
But what are kind of like our expectations, or like what would be considered a good year for Osaka? Like, it's quite an open-ended question, I guess. But yeah, like what would be considered a successful year? Like,
well, I think she needs time.
Yeah.
We have to be
Facts.
patient with her, and she needs
Yeah.
to be patient with herself as well, knowing that her body's still recovering, of
Exactly.
course. So she needs to be aware of that and just judge her comeback accordingly. But I think, knowing how much she loves New York and the US Open, there's no reason why she can't be a contender
Love that.
by that point.
I love that.
You know?
End of the year, exactly.
Yeah, it's just about managing the your schedule, knowing that, okay, take some time out here, play here. You don't have to play every tournament, like, if you feel like it.
I hope she plays all the Grand Slams though.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Osaka's not really she doesn't play a lot of tournaments in general. Anyways, like before she was giving birth, like I remember even people were even getting at her because of that, because they hated the fact that she wanted to play however she wanted to.
Like kind of pick and choose.
But I kind of feel like next year it might change though. I think she might play more.
Same. I feel like she's gonna be playing pretty much as she can. Like,
Yes.
Injuries permitting.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she's gonna want to basically be playing every event and like just be out there.
I think so.
And she will have to, I guess, to help lock in her ranking.
Exactly.
Because she won't have that protected ranking the following year.
Yeah.
So she'll have to try and get there, because she doesn't want to be having to qualify for events or anything like that, which she won't actually.
The ghetto.
But, you know, but like
the ghetto
They're
qualifying.
gonna give
yeah,
that.
she doesn't want to be beating tricky players in like the second and third round. You know, get into the top 32 at the bare minimum, and then attack it.
Yeah, no, great shout. What about Rafa? Like he also announced his return, because when was his last tournament?
Australian Open.
Was it Australia?
Yeah, Australian. A year. Yeah, he
So it's been a
played.
full
Was it
year.
Mackenzie McDonald? I think it was. And he was struggling to move.
Oh yeah.
With his hip, and so it's been a year. It's
Love
been a long
that knowledge,
time.
Uche. That's why you're here. But like, yes, that's a full calendar year that he's been out. Like, again, what are kind of our expectations?
Remember, I told you, I said it on the pod. I said that when he comes back, he will come back. He will try and play. If he wins one more slam, aka Roland Garros, I think he'll be like done, basically. Like the way he described it on his videos that he was posting was basically how I was describing it.
Didn't he post something today as well?
He posted like 3-part like clips, like the past 3 days, basically explaining. He wasn't saying much, but he was saying a lot without saying a lot.
There was there was something in there saying that this might be like he might even not play the full year.
That's the thing though. He was saying stuff like, I might do that, or I might not, or I might, I might retire, or I might not. And that's why I even quoted like a little joke. Like I was like, he's basically moving like them people that always say, don't let the haters see my next move or something like that. That's basically what he's doing.
Yeah.
But like I said even earlier this year on the pod, like I don't see Nadal being the type to come and do like Federer and be like, I'm retiring and do like a farewell thing. I don't think we'll ever know. I think it will just drop like as a surprise.
Interesting.
But I personally think next year, I've always said that 2024, if he comes back, and especially if he wins a slam, he's done. Would he win a slam though? I don't know. Because the thing is with Nadal is his brain moves different. Like his mental strength is different, and his stubbornness, because that's what was happening when he was having his hip problem. Like his box were looking at him like, bro, you need to get the hell out of court. And he was just ignoring, like he was just there hitting. And his wife is stressed, his coach is stressed. Everyone is just there stressed. So I don't know. I won't put it past him if he just firms it, but I don't know. I think next year he'll be done, because you don't want to make like a permanent thing. Like look at Del Potro?
Yeah.
He's always, but he's still. I remember he did like an interview after the retirement. He was like, "Yo, there's times where I can't walk for too long. I can't climb the stairs for too long. You don't want that." And Nadal is like, what? His child is like not even 2 yet.
Say now he's a father too. Different kind of perspective. Yeah.
And also, sorry, because remember, the Olympics are in Paris.
That's the thing as well.
I believe he doesn't have a gold medal in.
Oh really? I don't know.
I don't think so. I know there's one thing that he's missing.
I don't think Novak.
Well, he might.
Novak doesn't have a medal at all.
Maybe Nadal does.
I think Nadal has one.
Yeah, I think he does.
He doesn't have, because I always remember from that design, that graphic design that ATP does whenever one of the big threes finish. And I remember Nadal doesn't have an ATP final and Djokovic doesn't have a
Olympic gold.
Olympic gold. So I think he already has one.
Okay.
But again,
But it's in Paris.
It's
And it's what August, I believe.
Is it August?
Yeah, the Olympics is in August. So,
okay.
Sorry, yeah, July, sort of August.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, again, that will be a nice way to win that and say, I ain't going to New York.
Drop the mic.
I don't need to go and play on the
yeah.
hard court.
Especially that Nadal end of year, it's like his body just ends. Hence why he's never able to win an ATP final. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
More Nadal later on for me, but but yeah, just look at the Grand Slams like of this year. So in Australia, we had Irina Sabalenka winning her first, and Novak is 22nd. What were like memories or kind of looking back at the Australian Open? Was there any kind of moments that stood out for you lot?
I was happy about Sabalenka winning. It was over because she has like shitloads of titles, so it was bound to happen. So I'm glad that she's one of those players when you look at everything on paper, you're like, this girl has to have like a slam by now. So I'm glad that she finally has one. Obviously Shelton making it through to like the quarterfinals, that was great. Obviously I wasn't too excited about someone else getting the 22nd Grand Slam. But
go over it, Lucy, please.
Yeah.
And then you obviously comfortably beat Tsitsipas in the final again. I don't think it's going to. We might get onto it later, but I think Tsitsipas has had a weird year.
Weird. That's the perfect word.
But more than anything,
he's in love, man. Allow him.
But he's just still. He hasn't improved. He's still the same player he was 2 or 3 years ago when he won the ATP Finals.
Basically, these are the kind of conversations me and Uche have like on a daily basis, like in the office. So go on.
So it was almost like it's a foregone conclusion, that Djokovic was going to play him in the final, and get him in the final and beat him convincingly. And it's a bit like, okay, all right, well done. On to the next one.
Was this Australian? Sorry to cut you. Was this Australian the one Coco met Emma? Was that last year?
Oh, I can't remember.
Let
me double check.
Did Coco knock her out? She may have done.
And it was fairly easy. I think it was this year.
I think it was. It was definitely. Yeah, I think it was.
Because I'm just going back. Well, looking back at that
match. It was. Yeah, I remember it was it was an early morning one. Yeah. Second round, straight sets.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of hype around that, saying, this is like the new generation here.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't really live up to it because Emma wasn't...
Sorry, isn't that a perfect example of what I was saying?
No, stop it. But why I'm saying that is because Emma had like her injury issues.
Yeah, she came in injured.
Yeah.
So
she came in injured,
I feel like a fit Emma Raducanu versus a fit Coco Gauff, that's an exciting match on paper. Hopefully we get to see that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to cut you. I just remembered this year that happened.
Yeah, it's been a long year, of course.
It's been a very long year.
It's been a long year, but that did happen. And you said Emma came into it with an injury, which she suffered in Auckland, which is, again, she's going back. She's going to make a comeback in Auckland again. So hopefully she comes through that.
No, good luck to her. Definitely.
But yeah, those two are the most sort of popular and marketable players
and richest
for the WTA.
For your daughters in tennis, guys. If you want their millions, Project Serena.
Next Grand Slam, the French. So we had Iga Swiatek, world number 1. Although she did lose the world number 1 crown, for a few months this year, but then won it back at the end. And Novak again winning his 23rd. So that's where he leveled with Serena.
Yes.
Yeah.
French Open, we had a good time because we were there for the men's semi-finals. Shouts out to Rodney Rapson, the plug. The French for me, it's never really been one of my favourite Grand Slams, but being there, have you been to Paris?
Unfortunately not, and disgracefully not, given that I live in London and you can just get a Eurostar.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I should be able to go there whenever, but I've just never thought. But I feel like, sorry to cut you now.
No.
It would be nice to see Nadal there before he retires. So maybe, and who you buy a ticket, you have no idea if he's going to play. But it would be nice if you see Nadal on clay in his manner.
Yeah.
And go and do what
Make
he
sure
does.
you get it for the first round. More on that later. No, but I was just going to say, like, for me, being at the French, like, it kind of, I found like a newfound respect for it, like actually being there, because seeing it on TV, you just think, oh yeah, clay, like, I don't know, like, it's never really excited me that much.
Seriously?
Yeah, but actually,
bro, with the way the French fans are like going ham
but
and crazy.
that's what I'm saying. Actually, being there, actually, as in person, like, you get a different feel, and I've got a newfound respect for that Grand Slam now. So
plus, Philippe Chatrier is a brilliant looking court.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's
it's actually really nice.
It's the whole kind of like complex.
Yeah, I was
so
surprised.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie, because Paris,
It's very very modern. Like, but we said like, 'cause they've had like a redevelopment. That's why.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, the French was a good Grand Slam, and like from a backspin perspective, there wasn't great success. Like, I think we did spotlight Sloane Stephens and like her fits, because she was wearing some really nice colours.
And she made it to
I think
the
second week.
Yeah, second week.
Francis Tiafoe as well. He was wearing like a custom Nike.
Yeah, custom
like,
Nike
fit.
one. Yeah.
I think it was is it NGK? The artist / I think it's from Sierra Leone. But yeah, there wasn't that much kind of.
Taylor Townsend was in the final, doubles final with
True.
Fernandez.
She was.
Yeah.
And that, for me, my match of the year was actually that French Open. So what am I saying? It was Gael Monfils versus Sebastian Baez.
Oh yes,
in the first round.
First round, yeah.
That 5-set like thriller.
Yeah.
He can get the French crowd going like nobody else.
But it's what I'm saying. That's why for me the French is crazy, because out of all the Grand Slams, probably like my third favorite or something. This year was probably my last. But the crowd, one of one.
Yeah.
Like the French crowd are just
They're different.
They're different.
They're
actually different.
And obviously we saw Carlos Alcaraz, but for me it was the first time seeing him in person.
Yeah.
And that was quite special.
Yeah, that was that first Novak and Carlos match that we thought was gonna. I mean, the first two sets were insane, and obviously nerves broke in and stuff. But it was still really good.
Yeah,
it was so good.
And then Wimbledon, wow. So we had Marketa Vondrousova winning her first Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And Carlos Alcaraz his second, and obviously for us it was like
our first time on
debut.
Yes.
Grand Slam debut, yeah.
For real.
What a time.
What a time indeed.
We kind of spoke a lot about like in depth, but how special is Wimbledon to you, Uche? Like,
Wimbledon will always be my my first love. I think I remember the first time I went to Wimbledon was 2001. It was the Friday, Wimbledon semi-final Friday.
Wow.
When Tim Henman was playing Goran Ivanisevic, I think, and it was rained off.
Yeah.
So then we had like what's his name, Cliff Richard, singing to the crowd and stuff like that. And I met Richard Williams outside the grounds. I mean, I'm not sure if I knew who he was. I think my mum would have known. Okay. So we did get a picture with him. I'll have to try and find that in the garage or something.
You need to, you definitely need to send that to us.
Because it was so that I'll always remember that. And again, I don't think we remember seeing much tennis that day, of course, because it was kind of rained off. There was no roof at that time.
Say, no roof, yeah.
So it's always been the one tournament, and it's always sort of my two favorite weeks of the year. And this year, as you say, with the women's final, it was all set up there for Ons Jabeur to get the job done, become the first African and Arab woman to do it. And unfortunately, nerves just got to her. I think she was nowhere near her best. But fair play to Vondrousova, she came ready and she got the job done. Yeah. And then in the men's final was just jaw dropping at times. It was just like, what are we seeing crazy. Here?
You on the grounds? Were you actually in the? Were you on the grounds?
Yes, yeah. I was in the stadium at the time. It's a weird setup in terms of trying to get your pass on to get in to watch the finals. Everybody wants a pass, and that was the final that everybody had wanted to see. So I didn't get onto the court until maybe like the second or third set. Okay. Fortunately, it was 5 sets. So I managed to stay there, and once you're there, you kind of don't want to move,
bro.
Somebody will come and fill that seat.
That's it.
And it was an incredible final. Final.
No, it was 100%.
we'll come back. Well, I guess we'll circle back to Wimbledon in a bit. But US Open now. So Coco Gauff.
Yep. putting respect on her name.
Just absolutely dominating that US like hard court swing, winning her first Grand Slam in like great fashion. And Novak on the men's side going 24, out on his own now. As we kind of established.
Yeah.
For me, the US Open this year was just for Coco alone, it was like probably one of the best Grand Slams in terms of like in my memory. Simply because of Coco Gauff.
Yeah. Like, that I understand. And even the second week, at one time, like we had like Tiafoe versus Shelton.
Exactly, that was the quarterfinal.
Like, we had
there were some nice moments, like from a black spin perspective.
Yeah.
But I thought also the tennis was good tennis. I thought in general. Just trying to think of some matches off the top of my head. I can't really think of any off the top, but I thought like Novak, he was on a mission in terms of like to get that 24.
Of course. Listen, I knew that when he was gonna come back, he was gonna come back on smoke, because he's like, first of all, I missed out on coming here. Yeah. You guys fucked up my vibe. So I'm on smoke. So I knew, like, I already had it. I was like, this is going to be like, you know, I already felt like this season he was gonna be on different smoke. Hence why Wimbledon, I was so certain he was going to win, because it was just like, okay, you're getting a chance at because he already tried hitting that calendar slam like year. He's experienced the pressure. I feel like once he has the opportunity again, that's it. Because it's like, okay, you guys can't really, you know. The only thing is though, is that I feel like the younger ones are like surely like catching up to him. Do you get what I mean? Especially, I feel like next year it might be a little bit more tough for him, because I think they're now getting fed up of him winning too much, because it's not a good look on them in general. Just like you said earlier, you said like it's becoming too predictable. You see Novak versus most of the players, you already know what's going to happen. So I don't know, but I wasn't too surprised. I was hating, but I wasn't too surprised. So it is what it is. But you have to give, at least I give credits. I actually, you know, as a hater, I give credits.
Well, you do. For you, Uche, like, what was kind of a standout moment like in terms of the US Open for you this year?
I think it was seeing that rise from Ben Shelton. He was disappointing in the semi-finals, I thought. I know he's playing Djokovic there and all-time great, etc. But I wanted to see a bit more from him, be a bit more composed, and to adapt to the situation. You know, you can't always keep hitting 140 mile an hour serves, you know. Go for angles and things like that. Don't keep trying to hit the ball off it. And I guess, I mean, the moment as well was the celebration.
Oh man!
And then the I think it was that Leonardo DiCaprio meme when Djokovic did it back to him. It was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't just do that, but he did. So I think that was really good to see. And as I said earlier, now we want to see more from him. But at the end of the day, the US Open was all about Coco, and coming through the adversity and the pressure, her dad not being amongst it, because everyone was a bit like, are they beefing perhaps? Is there some sort of issue? The parents not getting on? No, you saw when you did see him, he's just there chilling, eating chips and drinking, because he's just in a box. He was just nervous. So, I mean, for them and the journey that they've had and the pressure that she's been under, to finally get over the line, I think it was a wonderful moment. And having been to New York before, when the US crowd get behind you, they really get behind you. They've done it. The 2 times I was there, when Serena was in the final, the atmosphere was insane. It was like, the only people supporting the other person were their camp, you know. So they were all there for Serena. This year, they were all there for Coco. And she had to come through it. She had to battle, but she kept her head and she got the job done.
What I loved about the one as well, like, she didn't really play her best tennis.
Yeah,
like
that final,
for me, that is like, that's a sign.
No. But a lot of people were saying it anyways. Yeah,
that's the sign of like a champion. If you can find a way to like win a match and you're not playing your best, like, and still get through.
And
like,
against a form, because Sabalenka, she won a Grand Slam this year. She was already like, on form and stuff. So for her, I mean, not better form than Coco. Coco literally won 2 titles back to back. Right before the US
I'm
Open,
talking
but
throughout the whole
still.
tournament. There was not one match where she played. Maybe actually, who did she beat in straight? She
No,
beat
there
someone in
was
straight
one.
sets.
There
I
was
think.
one match where she really, but I can't remember which one. But there was at least
I think it was
one,
Mukova, but Mukova was injured. Like she wasn't 100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Mukova, she pulled out, right?
A lot of her matches went to 3 sets.
Yeah.
And I was like, this girl, she's kind of scraping her way through, but she's still finding a way to win. And for me, that is like the sign of a champion.
Yeah,
And she's
true.
19 years old and doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I mean, hey.
It's very exciting, man. And yeah, we love Coco. Just on staying with Coco, actually. So she reached her career high. So she's finished the year number 3 in the world, which is like, again, you've had Iga and Sabalenka kind of going back and forth for the number 1. I think obviously Iga finished number 1, Sabalenka second. But yeah, for Coco to finish 3rd, like
that was really good.
I mean, I don't want to like kind of put more kind of pressure on her, but I would not be surprised if she does end the year 2, maybe even we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't see any reason why she can't up at least 1. Like
the only reason why I feel like it will be so hard is mainly because Iga has been so open about how she takes that number 1 seriously.
Yeah.
Like when she lost it, she was like, nah. And she literally went back and she got it back. I feel that's the only thing that could like really like stop her. And that's simply because Iga does not play with that number 1 because she wants to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like and it shows that it does, like help her and stuff. So I feel like once Coco gets like in the way of like, beating that woman, then
I don't think she's going to be playing as much doubles as well. I think she's going to be playing doubles up until like the Olympics.
Okay.
And then just like focusing on singles. And I think that will also help her.
I think so, yeah. I think it's time to wrap that up. Not because of her, to be honest. Respectfully.
Stop it. Pegula and Coco are a very good team. We're not going.
No. I'm not saying they're a bad team.
Okay.
I've never said they're a bad team.
So what are we saying?
I prefer her focusing on the singles.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because this year they did all right.
Yeah.
They won a couple titles. Dubai,
They
Miami.
won 2 or 3 titles. They've been quite a lot finals. So they've been pretty close.
They've not won a Grand Slam though, and I feel like that's kind of something they want.
Yeah.
And also the Olympics, obviously, like that would be a massive thing for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they've said. I think Pegula. Did Pegula reveal it? Someone revealed it anyway. They just said basically after the Olympics, we won't be playing as much doubles as we did like last season, basically. And I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think it's be selective when you play. Like if you go to Indian Wells or Miami, something like that, because she's been really good at the net. That's been one of the areas she's improved a lot. So if she can keep those net skills sharp for when the time comes, it just adds variety to her game, which she plays in the singles, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Keeps the opponent on her toes. If she's going to bang a backhand down the line, she knows she can come forward and then put away the volley. Those are the type of things that you want to have in your armory.
100%. Just on the career high. So we'll just run through the list of like players that had career highs this year. Francis Tiafoe shouts out top 10. So he reached 10. I think it was after Stuttgart, winning Stuttgart.
Yeah.
The grass court event. And he ended the year 16th, so in the top 20. Ben Shelton, he reached a career high 15th in the world, ended the year 17th. Jasmine Paolini, shouts out to Jasmine. She reached 29th, ended 30th. And that's like, I think she's also in contention for winning like most improved player on the WTA tour, like on the official WTA like kind of awards that they do. Not winners haven't been announced yet. Christopher Eubanks, he reached 29th, finished 34th. Arthur Thiese, we've spoken about, 36, ended 36th. Alicia Parks, again, we've had her on the pod. She reached 40th, finished 62nd. Michael Moe, he reached 81, finished 105th. And Noah Akugure, who we've spoken about, she reached 142 and finished 177th. But obviously she had that run in Hamburg where she reached the final. What was a WTA Tour debut. So I feel that she's also going to be someone we're going to see a lot more of in 2024. Like obviously she'll have to play like qualifiers and stuff, but like just that this list here alone, like it's a lot of players like reaching career highs, and like we've said, there's a lot to be excited about. Like,
Yeah.
these are young guys as well. I
Yeah.
mean, Eubanks is, what, 27, 28?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably the oldest person in this list. The rest are like, what, under 25, 26. Like, they're young players coming
Yeah.
up.
I think for me, it's just more of like where they started from, anyways.
Mm.
Like, do you get what I mean? Like, a lot of them, they were nowhere near where they're ranking now. Like, Arthur Fils was like nowhere near that. Do you get what I mean?
Biggest
Like,
climber, yeah.
yeah, so.
And I want to say all of these players have won titles. Well, maybe not Mo. I think Mo's won a challenge or two this year. But yeah, Park, she won a title. Feast, he's won titles. Eubanks, he won a title. Paolini, I think she won a 125.
She won 125 and won 2 doubles, I believe.
Doubles as well,
double,
exactly. Obviously Shelton, he's won. Is it Tokyo? He won
Tokyo, yeah.
ATP 500.
Mm-hmm.
TFO, he won 2 titles this year. Goff, what, 3 or 4, including a slam.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I sent Lucy the rundown, as in, like I sent you, Uche, but I also included like the list of winners, and like there were literally, for every single month we had like tournament winners.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a long list, and that's
Yeah.
why Lucy made that reel. Shouts out to you, Lucy, for that amazing reel that you made.
And thank you guys for sharing. That was
Yeah.
crazy numbers. I
It
was
went wild.
like,
It went
oh
absolutely
my
crazy.
gosh.
But yeah, it just showed like
Yeah.
literally every single month there were like winners winning. Well, we had players winning titles, whether it was on clay.
But that's why because the thing is with that reel, for instance, like, because when I sat down and I deeped, like, wow, like we had so many winners this year. Like, I reached out to Eugene, I was like, I think we need to do something, because that's crazy. And because I had to write those so I can do the edit, and I was like, wow, like we're really at a time where we have like that many players.
As the kids say, they're cooking.
Real
They
talk.
are. No, they are.
Real talk.
They really are. And like we said earlier, this is a warm up. It's just a warm up.
I also want to like give some honourable mention. So Tyra Katarina Grant, who won the French Open girls doubles with Claire V and Gunu.
Oh yes, yeah.
She helped Team USA win the Junior Billie Jean King Cup. I think that was back in November, but we didn't post about it. That's my bad. But yeah, she's only 15, and yeah, she literally won all of her singles matches. I think she played like 3 singles matches. To help Team USA win the Junior Billie Jean King Cup. So she follows the likes of, obviously, Ngunu, who won it last year with Team USA. Coco Gauff, she also won it in 2018 with, obviously, the USA, and Iga Swiatek with Poland in 2016. So some like pretty big names there. And who's to say like how, I mean, her career could go, but that's quite like we said, that's a name to look out for.
Yeah.
And she's only 15. And I
Yeah.
also want to shout out Britt J. Clark,
Yeah.
who had a really serious, I think it was a wrist injury, and he had surgery in June. He won his first title since having surgery in Antalya, Turkey, an ITF singles and doubles title. And that was in November. So shouts out to Jay Clark, and he also got married this year too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we met them last.
Yeah, we did. We
year
met.
at
I think it was
Eastbourne.
Eastbourne.
It was Eastbourne. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eastbourne.
Yeah. Well,
So and
congrats to them.
we always say, "Oh, we need to get you on the pod." Like, he's someone we definitely will have on the
Yeah,
pod.
no, 100% next year.
2024.
Before we move on, because we just mentioned the Junior Billie Jean King Cup. What do you think about the Billie Jean King Cup?
Billie Jean Cup. Again, I don't think it's another prestigious tournament which doesn't get the marketing and advertising that it needs to really sell it to other audiences and to really show it off as a team tournament, because when team tournaments, nations playing against each other,
Exactly.
Big deal.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But you just don't get that sense, and it's concerning.
Yeah.
When you put that as well with the Davis Cup as well, which seemed to go pretty well, I think, in Malaga with Italy winning. There were some good matches there, but it's like they need to do more. They need to find a way to get people involved, because I mean, again, when we talk about the Davis Cup, that Djokovic said he was going to do it this year, and because he wants to try and get it over the line and get that one again. But is he going to do it next year? We have no idea. How can that be right when a lot of these people are so passionate about playing for their countries? So there's a lot of work to do to give the respect the competition deserves, especially when it's in the name of Billie Jean King.
Yeah.
She did say on that tennis podcast interview that there's a lot of things that she, like, basically what you're saying is these are the things that they're trying to work on, because she even described it as the World Cup. Like, she's like, in a way, it's like, because, you know, you have different
But
countries
it's
and
supposed to
different
be,
things
yeah.
coming in together. But I feel like they are very much aware of those things. It's just actually doing them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's hard I think if it was a thing where she was playing, maybe things would have been moving faster. But obviously, you know, I mean, the woman just turned 80. Like,
Yeah.
you know, honestly, she even needs to rest.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I like seeing the fact that she wants to do so much for the sport and stuff. But hopefully we'll get there, and hopefully I'll stop hating on the WTA Cup by that time. But yeah.
Just well, I've already said my favorite match from this year. What were your, if you had to pick one match, what was your standout match from 2023, Uche?
I think it would be.
And it doesn't have to be a black player.
It would be boring, but I think it would be Alcaraz and Djokovic, just to be there.
Fair play.
More than anything, that felt special. That felt you're watching two players, the two best players at their absolute best.
Yeah.
For want of a better word, and they were going for, you know, sort of the biggest trophy of the year, you know, and I think that was special. And the fact that Alcaraz managed to get the job done under relentless pressure. Djokovic was arguably a couple of points from winning himself. He had a couple of break points. He didn't get it, and, you know, swung this way, swung that way, and he showed great resilience to go and get the job done.
Were you expecting Alcaraz to win, or?
I don't think so, because Djokovic is inevitable, you know. Like, every time you think he's down, he gets back up. You know, we speak so often about how he likes playing with his food almost. He's like, okay, all right, I'll give you that break, but I'll break you again, and we get to a tie break, and I know you ain't winning that.
Yeah.
So, and if I need to get another tie break, the next one, I'm winning it again. And I'm crushing your spirit as well, because you get to that tie break and you think, oh, I've got a chance here. Well, I needed 7 points or something just to get it.
Just toying with you.
No, he's just sort of toying with you. But that's again about playing your best when it matters, when you're not at your best. And a lot of the times this year, he's not been at his best, but he finds a way. He's the only player that's capable of doing that. Alcaraz is not quite there yet, because I feel there are a couple of matches where, especially going into the US Open, I think his record against Medvedev was he crushed him pretty much every single time. Yet he got to the semi-final of the US Open and he didn't know what to do. I felt, and it was just sort of relying on viral moments to try and get him going. But you need more than that. You need to get your head down and get yourself into the match and be clever. And he didn't quite do that. So that's a slight concern for me with him going forward now. Have players worked out how to beat him, and what's he going to do now to adjust his game to beat other players and make it easier on himself? He can't keep having these three set matches which take 2 or 3 hours. You know, with that level of talent, you've got to be getting it done 2 and 3. You know, 6-2, 6-3. You're off the court. Save yourself for when you're ready, which is the semi-finals and finals, because that's where you should be getting to every single time when you're that good. Because he's generational, isn't he?
It's a good shout.
Yeah.
It's a great shout.
100%.
Lucy, for you, a standout match from this year.
Well, I'm gonna be boring as well.
Go for it.
And say
Same
it's the
thing.
same as
Fair play.
I think for me the reason why as well is because I love it when other people get involved as well.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was watching this match.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was on it. Like, Twitter was full. It wasn't just tennis Twitter. I was seeing my friends. I was seeing
the tweet
from my friend. I was seeing one of my friends. He was like, Who's this Dominican guy beating Novak? See what I mean? Like, these type of things. That I like how we all came together to watch something that was honestly just insane, because you know, the thing is, not only Novak is like someone who's just built different. He won that tournament like for how many years? Like, what, 4 or 5 years in a row now? And it's just like we all went, well, majority of us went in thinking, this is it. I think even bageled him the first set or something like that.
Yeah, maybe 6-1 or something.
Yeah, it was like 6-1 or 6, something like that. I was when I saw that, I was like, and I could say to Eugene, I was like, bro,
it's done.
People were concerned.
Bro, I was like, bro, don't worry, Novak is getting this. I was already like mentally like, yeah, this is for Novak. But seeing how the match was going, it was just like, wait, hold on. To be fair, shout out to Alcaraz, because going into grass, I remember talking to one of my friends, and I was like, this guy's not going to do anything, because grass is not normally like his strongest point.
Yeah.
So the fact that he won Queens and then he went into Wimbledon and then won that, to me was just, it was just amazing. And it was a great story on top of that as well. Like, it was a great story for the actual sport. Like, if you check who's been winning Wimbledon, like, you have not been seeing any different names for a while, and it's even Novak, Federer, Nadal, whatever, and then boom, you have like Alcaraz. So I think for the sport itself, it was just amazing, because it's like another big name. We're not focusing on the big three, because I feel like we say that tennis has an issue with marketing and stuff, but the problem is they have an issue with marketing the new players, the younger players. They're relying too much on those big threes. Why am I still seeing posts about Federer, respectfully? And this is coming from someone who is actually like, out of the big threes, I like Federer, but I don't want to see about him because he's not here. He's out here living his rich influencer life and getting all the millions and taking care of his family.
Watching South Africa win the World Cup.
Yeah. See, like, literally, when you go on, he's living life and everything. It's nice to see him, but I can see that on his Instagram. Don't use the time of the social media people that you hired for ATP or ATP Tour or Tennis TV or whatnot. Use that to literally promote the younger players or the players that are actually like killing it. Like, don't just rely only on Novak, or don't wait till they're winning to promote them.
Lucy in her marketing bag right there.
Preaching.
Just to kind of bring the mood down, lowlights from this year. So I've got here Mikael Ymer, who announced his retirement in July at the age of 24 after being suspended for 18 months and missing doping tests. No, he didn't actually test positive for anything. We must stress that. He just missed tests.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't happy with how the whole process kind of played out.
And sorry, before to cut you off, this is an issue that quite a few players had this year, which was funny. Yeah.
So it was sad to kind of see that play out. And he had a pretty big moment at Wimbledon. He beat Taylor Fritz, exactly, his first top 10 win. Mm-hmm. And then obviously this news kind of broke shortly after that. So I don't know where he's at in terms of if he's still if that's his final decision, that's his final call, he's retired. I don't want to say that's it. I think, but I
don't know. His
24
his
years
brother
old,
did
man.
Post him on Instagram. They were chilling. He was just posting him, which was nice. But I don't know. I thought he seemed like someone that was already kind of fed up of a lot of the stuff that was going on in the industry. When you're seeing shit and just you know what, there's just one thing that has to tick you off to be like, I'm out. I think that's what happened to him. But I won't be. I mean, he's still, how old is he?
24. He's a young kid.
Do you know what? If he was at least 20 or 21, I'll probably say maybe he'll come back. I don't know if he can.
I'm gonna say he's gonna come back.
Is he gonna come back? I don't think so. What do you think?
I'm not convinced he's gonna come back. Tennis is a tough sport, and the thing. There are only so few players. I say few, but I mean it's only the top 50 that are making a good livelihood from this, getting up and down, paying their coaches and the travel and all of that. To come back, having been banned or suspended for
18 months,
months, to go again when your ranking is probably on the floor, you got to go to some of these places to play these future events and challenger events just to try and get into the top 100 to then get into the main draws. It's going to take a lot of effort, and if his heart's not in it, go find another passion.
No, it's a good call, and I feel that's completely valid. But I guess it's more kind of heart over head for me. I want to see him back, because I'm going to say he's coming back. But I mean, at
least we got his brother still.
True, Elias doing his thing. Some other things, I've said things to improve. Again, this is something Lucy's kind of been going on a lot about. I've got here the WTA finals. I've said we need to get a date locked in, but it's actually a location, because they have got a date, but we just don't know where it's going to be.
I mean, how do you feel if the WTA finals was in Saudi?
Well, again, me and Eugene have been talking, and we were talking during the Next Gen, and we were like, we can't quite see the crowd there because the background was in red,
Yeah.
and then we said, okay, well, it was after the final, put on the light, let's see, and they still didn't. They're really desperate to try and sort of there may have been more people in the final, but they're desperate to sort of hide the amount of people that are there, and I'm concerned massively that if you take the WTA tour there, the fans, the spectators won't turn up, and that would be a bad look. I can understand why they're going there for the money, but again, you can't sell the sport if there's nobody there. You need them playing in front of passionate crowds, and you didn't see an empty seat in Turin.
True.
You didn't see an empty seat in the O2, but for some reason, the O2 when it was here, the ATP Finals was here.
Yeah, it was packed.
But you saw the conditions in Cancun, and now you've got the likelihood of them going to Saudi Arabia. And the WTA need to do a much better job of protecting their players because they are the stars, they are the
100%.
assets, and they need to do better and listen to them and listen to their concerns to get the best possible product at the end of the day.
But my thing is, okay, so I personally don't think using the next gen, like I don't think we can really compare it because the next gen in general, even people who are not in, I feel like even if it was here for instance, I feel like not a lot of people will go.
WTA Finals?
The next gen.
Next gen, okay.
Yeah. I don't think it would think. But if you think about it, for example, if that the WTA Finals with the top, I mean, if you have the players like Coco, even just Odds, who's also Arabic, I think that would attract
massively
a lot
to
of
London.
people.
If you came in London,
no, I'm talking about in Saudi.
In
for
Saudi,
instance.
okay, yeah.
But another interesting thing that I saw is that someone did tweet today, which was so, I don't know why it never caught into my mind, that they were like, there's been events in some of these Arabic countries who have those same laws. How come there's not been any like outrage with that? Why do we have an outrage with the?
I think there has, Lucy. I think it's just where you're kind of.
No, have you seen how people are going on with the Saudi thing? Come on.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. You would think, personally, like that tweet, it was so mad to me because I was like, bro, you would actually even think that that's the first like tennis tournament in an
people have
Arabic
been playing
country.
in Qatar for years.
That's what I'm saying. They've been playing in Qatar for years. They've been playing in Dubai. They've been but I'm talking about even just tennis in itself. Like we already have tournaments in Arabic countries. Why is it with this one specifically such a big deal?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's a great point.
I think it's very much because people do view what the Saudis are doing as sports washing a lot more than what the other countries are doing, which is you can argue is exactly the same, but it seems to be a bit more blatant in terms of they're trying to get all these big tournaments, just throw as much money as you can, and no, I'll be sensitive here with my words, but just a lot of money involved, and at the end of the day, do you actually care? That's what we want to see. We want to see these events, as I say, be promoted as best as they possible, and you want people behind it to care. Put the money aside. Do you care about the players that you've got there?
And have their kind of best interests.
Yeah, and have their best interests at heart. And I'm not convinced you can say that about these tournaments. For me, I look at it and they're only going there because they're the ones that are putting up the cash. But if you brought the WTA Finals to London for less money, I guarantee the O2 would sell out.
100%. Because you need to think about it as well, like a lot of people, there's even a trend of people traveling for events.
Yes.
Like this year there was like studies on people traveling for concert festivals.
Yeah.
And when it comes to London, do you know how many times we get people from different? There's so many times I go to like a podcast show or like a sport. I mean, even Wimbledon, we met people from. I met people from America.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would get not only you would get Londoners, but you would get people from other cities outside of London.
Global.
You would get people.
It's a global sport.
It's a global sport. But because it's a global sport, I feel like it's unfair to say, we can't include this country. because it's a global
And
sport.
that's why I'm with you 100%.
So it's a bit, but I don't know. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it will happen.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen
It's only a matter of
because
time.
money talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Also, like some, I guess, it's not really controversial, but some unfortunate things have happened. So we've had like late finishes on the WTA tour and ATP tour, and players have spoken out about it. But I don't know how you can fix that problem, like in terms of what scheduling or.
I think the least you can do is make sure that if I finish late, let me start late. Remember, that's why Senna pulled out of, like, was it Rolex Masters or something?
Paris.
Paris. He finished like dumb late, and then they had him first, and he was like, "No, I'm done. Like, I'm put." And he was going to like the quarterfinals and semi-finals.
Like,
I think so.
For you, is there a way to fix? You can't really fix it. Or can you?
Well, it's better scheduling. Get these matches started at 10 a.m. There's no reason why. Because you pay your ticket. Why are you not going to then turn up? You got that much money that you don't feel like you need to turn up.
I don't think the players want to start too early as well. I don't think players want to start early in the morning.
I highly disagree.
10:30, 11 is fine.
I highly disagree. I
I
feel
don't
like a
know,
lot of the players want to play, get the hell out of there.
Exactly, yeah. That might motivate them to say, okay, if I can get out of here, I've got the rest of the day to chill out.
Exactly.
You know?
We have to put this to players. Like, I mean...
Players will ask you.
we have to put this to the players. But that's an interesting point.
Start them earlier. Give them better balls to play with that travel through the air quicker. Quicker courts, so you get quicker points. I think when you mentioned Paris, there's only like maybe 2 or 3 courts there. I think
it's quite small,
and it's a big draw.
I want to say 2 televised.
But I think they are changing it.
So it's like you're not going to get 5 or 6 on a main court done in a day. That's why it's going to 2 o'clock in the morning. And nobody's functioning really at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can't do that to these highly strung athletes.
Yeah.
So get your tournaments at venues, where they have the facilities to cater for. I mean, not all of them can have 18, like a Grand Slam, but just have 3 or 4 stadium courts there where people can play matches and you get the matches done over and done with.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, just having venues that have the facilities to basically cater to the matches.
I think another thing to add on the things to improve, which is one of the things that a lot of players been talking about, which you mentioned a bit earlier, Uche, was the balls. Like the way the players complain about how the balls are like so different. Like, what do you want to say something?
No, because I just feel like there's a solution, but then there's also, you got to think about the surf. They're playing on different surfaces.
That's the thing.
So like you can't use the same ball for every surface, I don't think.
Well, that's fine. But then with the amount, there's obviously a lot more hard courts. So use the same ball throughout that. You're going to get onto the grass for that 6 week period or whatever. Use the same for that.
Slazengers out for the glass. Is it Slazenger? Slazengers.
Yeah, Slazengers. Yeah. I mean, work together.
Yeah.
Work together. Talk to each other. There's no point playing with Slazengers when you're in the UK, and then when you're in Mallorca or Germany or wherever you're playing with Dunlop. Yeah, like.
No, 100%. I do feel like there is a solution there, but I wish you could just use one ball throughout the whole year, but that's impossible.
No.
So yeah, I feel like you said, grass court you're using one specific ball, clay you're using one specific ball, hard so 3 balls.
Yeah.
There'll be less kind of So,
and also, sorry, just quickly, it needs to be addressed. Given the amount of wrist injuries that are happening at the moment, a lot of the players are not complaining, but they're saying, "Look, it's adapting to different type of balls and stuff. It's not great for my wrists." So that's something that the sport needs to watch out.
I think Taylor Fritz has been one of the most outspoken about the balls.
I think Iga.
And Iga, really?
Yeah,
okay.
no, Iga was like a lot. I think she was the first initially, if I'm correct, and then it started like rolling like a lot more. Than Fritz also complained, but yeah.
Cool. Predictions now for 2024. So, I mean, this is a bit of a headache because I hope everybody's been thinking. Basically, I want to know everybody's Grand Slam or first Grand Slam winners. So this year we had obviously Vondrousova and Sabalenka. do we feel like there's going to be another like first time winner next year, both men and women's tour?
For all Grand Slams?
Yeah, or any.
Any?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Where?
100%. Huh?
Where?
I think for some reason, I feel like Iga's going to bag Australian Open, so not Australian Open.
Interesting.
I think Wimbledon, Wimbledon will get a new
Wimbledon
one for
always
women.
seems to be the one, innit?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wimbledon definitely get a new one. And French Open, I take that back. No, I take that back. I see
Ego again.
Iga again or Novak or Djokovic. Nadal or Djokovic.
Nadal, really?
You're forgetting this guy when he gets on clay.
Yeah.
It's like
Because for me,
it's
listen,
different.
that's one of my outlandish takes. We'll get on to that.
Okay.
But just so Wimbledon, you're gonna go.
I think Wimbledon and maybe Australian Open will get new winners.
And can you give a name, or you can't?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be honest. I don't like doing
I know
2024 predictions.
You hate predictions in
Especially this, because it's like everyone's
Who
resting.
knows?
This guy's in Maldives. This one is in
Kuwait.
whatever. Like I don't know what they're doing. Like we don't know what's the thing, but I do think there will be new winners for those
Uche,
two.
what about you? Do you feel like there'll be?
I think in terms of the men's tour, the only first time winner I can see is Sinner.
Okay.
Yes.
Such a logical call. Like,
will he come back after the great end of the year he's had and hit the ground running in Australia? He can, but I'm not. It's Djokovic, right? That's your issue. Then you're going on to the clay. I'm not sure he's the best mover, so therefore you're looking at Alcaraz and Djokovic again. On grass, I don't see it for Sinner there. The way he struggled this year, I don't see it. So then you're now looking at the US, and that's a probability. That's a possibility, I think, because you tend to get more random winners in at the US Open. I believe there's a lot more mixed up compared to the others.
Yeah.
Like even Djokovic has had to wait, for various reasons, but he's had to wait a while to add.
Because I kind of
to
feel
his
like
tally.
on the women's side, I feel like the women at Wimbledon, you tend to
when I said Wimbledon earlier, I meant for like the women.
Yeah.
But you're right.
That's
when
a
it
good
comes
call,
to US, I feel like US Opens for both WTA and ATP.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then on the women's tour, it's a WTA tour. I'm not sure we're gonna get one. If anything, it will happen at the. I'm not sure we're gonna get one because all of the top 10, apart from maybe Pegula, I think, and maybe somebody else, I forget your name, maybe Sakari, I think.
Yeah.
They all have a Grand Slam, and they're all very good. And I think, for one of those 8 to not get to at least the final, I can't quite see it.
That's actually a very
I
good
think,
point.
with the hard courts, Rybakina and Zabalenka will always be there. Coco obviously loves the clay. And then you obviously got Iga. Wimbledon, you've got, maybe the 8 of them, perhaps, that can all get to the semi-final, final. And then again, same with the US Open as well.
Yeah.
Then you've got Azarenka and Petra Kvitova, who are capable of having deep runs. Fingers crossed Naomi comes back as well and is challenging. So I think a lot of the players that have Grand Slams already are all in a great position to go and win another one and add to their tallies. I don't see anybody. I don't think Pegula's got the firepower to win a Grand Slam, to come through the whole 2 weeks. I don't think Sakari's got the consistency to do that.
Amazing player though. I think
Sakari
is one player where I'm just like, I don't get it, bro, because you, like you said, a great athlete. Like it's crazy.
I think she's got one in her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know when, but I do think she's got one in her.
Okay.
I like how you've answered that, actually. Both, both, and you too, like quite detailed.
What about you?
I'm not going to say. I asked the question.
No, Eugene,
No, okay,
you can't do
I'll
this.
just say this. There will be a new Grand Slam winner, definitely on both sides.
Okay.
And I feel like it's going to come Wimbledon for the women.
Okay.
And US for the men.
Clip that.
That's what I'm saying. I've said here, end of year top 8. I think that's probably too hard to say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we'll scrap that.
We'll scrap that.
Outlandish like take for the 2024. Mine is, I'll start here.
Okay.
I don't think Rafa's gonna make. I said second week of any Grand Slam.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're one of them people that forgot about.
Do you know what it is as well?
Forgot about Uncle Nadal.
I'm just looking at the optics. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't feel like he looks the same in those videos. Like, and obviously, I've seen him hitting, and of course, like we said about Naomi, like you can look.
Bro, he's just getting old, bro.
Stop it! I know, and
That's
that's kind of where I'm at as well. I'm also thinking like your age, like obviously him and Novak are the similar age. I think Novak is.
I think
Novak's a year
younger.
A year younger, yes, yes.
But like Novak still looks like he's like 25.
Yeah.
Nothing on him.
Like,
no, that's true.
Do you get me?
That's
like
true.
Nadal doesn't give me that kind of. He doesn't give me that.
But that's why I've always said that Nadal, the thing is with him is that his mental strength is different.
And Nusi, I hear what you're saying
else.
too, but his game is so physical. Like, that is pretty much what separated him from the big three when he was like at his peak. His physicality. And obviously his mind is obviously, it's up there too, but I feel like the game's kind of progressed a bit as well. Sorry.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But
so that's like my outlandish take. That's it.
Okay.
I would just fall back into my
Let's
seat.
see. What's yours for 2024?
I think, given what we've seen from him today, I don't know if you've seen it, but is it outlandish? I don't know, but I think Nick Kyrgios might retire.
Ooh.
Wow.
Today, the OnlyFans thing.
With the OnlyFans,
yeah, random.
You saw that, Lucy. He signed up.
I saw it. I was surprised.
He's. I'm not convinced his heart is in it. And if this knee injury, it's a knee injury, right? I think he's got.
Yeah.
If this injury doesn't, I mean, again, if you've not got your knees, like you can't do anything. And I'm not convinced he's got the character to fight back and to come back, given what he's gone through. The past is well documented mental health issues.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't like leaving home, and when being away from his girlfriend. I think he did some punditry with the tennis channel.
Which is very good as well,
which
actually.
people seem to like.
Yeah.
So that might open up another door for him to perhaps move somewhere else. I can see him coming back eventually, but maybe not. But maybe deciding this isn't for me anymore at this point. Like,
that'd be quite sad, though, man.
I've got a lot of money and I've got the attention and the fame or whatever, but because unless he knuckles down, he's not going to win a Grand Slam. He's not won a Masters tournament, I don't think. He's won a few 500s perhaps and 250s, but all that effort to reach the pinnacle, and if you don't think you're going to actually do it, or your body can't let you do it, I'm not saying he's a quitter, but I don't think he's someone that's that determination.
I mean, he's kind of said it in a way himself. He's always said, like, listen, tennis not my only thing. It's not my life. Like, it's not my this,
Right.
like, I don't. He doesn't have a coach. He does whatever the hell he wants and stuff. But now that you said it,
it's a really good call. Yeah.
It's making me think because he's doing a lot of other stuff.
And I don't want to see it. I want to see him.
Yeah, because I mean, however you feel about him, I know he's like, he says all his stuff, tweets, whatever, but the fans love him. Like, he makes a lot of matches like entertaining and stuff. Like, people who are not even into, sometimes that's how I calculate how people are into the sport. Like, people outside of tennis, like not non-tennis fans, how they are towards players. I get so many of my friends, I don't know fuck all about like tennis, but they'll come and tell me, that Nick Kyrgios guy, that they all think is black, by the way, as well, which is the funniest thing. They're like, that black. I was like, they always ask me like, why should you guys post Nick Kyrgios? Like, he's not black. Okay, he's not black. Respectfully,
I think he's Greek Malaysian.
His mom is Malaysian,
and
his dad is something else.
I want to say Greek.
Yeah. But that makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, that makes sense. The OnlyFans thing did surprise me.
So weird.
But he did say that I don't think you have to pay to see the content though.
Oh really? Okay.
Or something like
'Cause he
that.
said
Or
like,
maybe I
but-
think if you are a user, you can see it, but probably if you want like a premium
Yeah.
Oh my
stuff.
god.
Sorry. Do you know what's the problem is? People has associated OnlyFans with explicit content when actually OnlyFans
Cheats.
when actually OnlyFans was created for you to like, is that Patreon? Like you pay. We could even create one where just
Oh
like
my
people.
Lucy, don't.
No, I mean
Lucy,
like people.
Take your shirt off, Eugene. Come on. That's what the punters want to see.
Oh my god.
No, as in like people will pay
Yeah.
to us like to see in like exclusive like interviews or whatnot. Do you get what I mean? That's how it actually started.
Yeah.
But the explicit content stuff took over.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Your outlandish take.
I don't think I
Lucy.
have one.
You come on. You've had like a whole week. I say a week. You've had a few days.
I don't think I have one. I could not think
Wow.
of one. Like, cause
So you're copping out.
I
It's poor.
I really don't have one. Since I don't have one, give us an extra one. If you have
No,
one.
mine that was me.
You
I'm
should
out.
you have an extra one?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be a quite relaxed year.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
No, you're forgetting about this sport. This
Yeah,
sport is
it's
bloody
messy.
crazy.
Chaos.
This
Yeah.
sport is chaotic.
So you really don't have one.
I really don't have one. I
Wow,
couldn't think
Lucy.
of any. I'm being serious. I generally don't. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm being a party pooper.
Well, before we wrap up, let's get to know Uche.
Oh dear.
So spotlight on Uche now. So yeah, like if you could talk a bit about like your journey into tennis, like how you kind of fell in love with the sport, I guess.
I'm not sure how I fell in love with it. I think my dad wanted me to do something on a Saturday morning, so he said go down to the local tennis club and start playing. So I think I was a late starter when I was maybe 10 or 11 or something.
Okay. Because what's your like kind of what was the first sport you played? Like your
Football.
You're
Yeah,
a football
it was
head,
football. Yeah, it was definitely football. Definitely football.
Arsenal fan, by the way, guys. Ugh, yuck. But anyway,
football was the one, and then it was like tennis, go and play, and then I found myself to be pretty decent at it. And as you do with tennis clubs, you get ballot tickets from Wimbledon and stuff, and that's how I got to Wimbledon in 2001, and just followed it ever since then.
Could you played at university as well?
Yeah, played at university. We didn't have a tennis club at the university I went to. So me and my halls mate, we created one, and it became one of the club of the year the next year, and was really popular and thriving. So that's really one of my sort of like proud achievements of getting that up and running. And yeah, so following it through, I think one of the reasons I perhaps didn't do as well as I would have liked at university was because I was watching Federer. You know, like I had everything, the shorts, the shirts.
Even now,
the shoes.
Uche, what's the racket? You've got his racket, the Pro Staff.
Yeah, I have two, just to be clear to clarify. I have two.
So I'm guessing out of the big three, Federer is
so Federer is my guy.
Yes.
So it
Federer
was him that I really sort of, I guess, fell in love with, and that style. I sort of wanted to play like him, single-handed backhand, and sort of try and run in and hit an inside out forehand and things like that. You know, it was him. You want to be like him, and then you just then, when I decided to come into journalism, it just felt easy to transition that and sort of include that in what I was doing. The first tournament I went to was the US Open.
Because I was going to say,
Nice.
give me some of your like career highlights. Like,
I think
today.
the career highlight it's probably two. It's career highlights. Probably two was actually getting to my first Grand Slam, which was the US Open, in 2018 for the first time as an accredited journalist, and sort of seeing it and being there was just like, this is mad, but this is where I've always wanted to be, and I feel at home.
Nice.
And it happened to be the year, 2018 happened to be the year when the whole Serena and Osaka final.
Oh wow!
So that was a really good year to go.
Oh my gosh,
times.
Crazy. Isn't it?
And then the next highlight I think would be Wimbledon in 2019, being there first for the semi-final between Nadal and Federer, which I feel may have been the last time we saw them play. And that was an incredible final. Seeing those two go at semi-final, going at it. And then the final, the Sunday, Federer is 2 points away from winning what would have been his 21st, maybe, I think.
I don't know.
And he had 2 match points. The woman stood up and was like, 2.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't get it done. But I think everybody was like hyped and thought this is going to happen. I think I remember I was sort of like shaking a little bit, like, this is it. This is it. It's going to happen. And then the next minute, you know, as he does, he crushes, see Lucy's face, you know, kind of crushes the spirit. And he gets the job done. But being there for that 2 weeks, that was my first Wimbledon. So being there for those 2 weeks and seeing those two matches was incredible. So nice. I'd say those.
And just a bit about your career. So like obviously now you're at the Telegraph. You've worked. What other like kind of publications have you worked at, or who else have you worked?
I worked at the Express as a sports journalist. So that was where I was at when I went to the US Open and Wimbledon for the first times. I've been in sports journalism since 2015. Covering football, tennis, and F1 in particular, but I don't mind golf in particular because of Tiger Woods, of course. You know, you got to back your boy there.
Tiger.
Get your Sunday red on and everything. So yeah, those are sort of my 4 main core sports that I've got going, and working alongside Eugene now. Whenever we're there, he's always got. We've got 2 screens, so I'm out on him here. But he's got 1 screen. He's got his work. Another screen. He's got tennis TV.
Like all of us, anyways.
You know.
Thank you. Yeah,
literally, I'll be doing that all the time.
You can guarantee he's got his eye on the ball and making notes about what's going on. So it's good to have. Really good to have a colleague there that I can always talk to about tennis with.
Likewise, Uche, man. And just on you quickly as well, like. I want to say you're one of the go-to guys. Is it BBC Radio 4? Is it Radio 4?
No, whatever, BBC.
Or just BBC Radio.
Yeah, you got
basically, come Wimbledon time, Uche's the guy on the radio just giving everybody, giving the lowdown on like Wimbledon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I forgot the guy. Who's the presenter? In the morning.
Rick Edwards, maybe.
Is it Rick Edwards?
It was only a couple of times. It was only a couple of times.
But,
he's modest.
But no, it's they've somehow got my details and have called me up and asked me to assist, and it's good to be able to sort of put your knowledge and your love for the sport and just to tell the people like, yes, you got to tune in. This could be a great.
Whenever I hear you, I'm like, wow, yeah, like you know what you're talking about, obviously. But like you said, like the passion, like it comes out.
Yeah.
And like that's something you could always kind of tell when someone's speaking about a sport, like they really love it. And that is Uche with tennis. So no, I love that. Just quickly as well, like your favourite players, obviously you said Federer was your favourite player. On the women's side, anybody?
I would say Osaka for sure. Nice. I really don't like the way she's been treated. I think she's deserved better, and I am desperate for this comeback to work for her. But if it doesn't, she's had an incredible career.
Facts.
And I've no doubt whatever she does after that will be great afterwards. And just as a British perspective, Emma Raducanu, I'm kind of keen to see how she doesn't follow her. We sort of follow her for work, but I think she's had a lot go against her, even though she's won the US Open, so she's had it great. You know, she's got sponsorships, whatever. But the injuries. If you don't have your health, what do you have?
Exactly.
So I think we just need to give her time. We've got to be patient with some of these players to give them time to grow, and they're still young, developing, learning about life. So hopefully that she's also able to come back and have a good year.
Favourite tournament,
Wimbledon.
And that's it.
Yeah, Wimbledon. I don't think anything comes close there because it's on your doorstep.
US Open, no?
Sorry?
US Open, no?
US Open is special.
And you've been there.
I've been there twice.
That's
It's chaotic and
that's why I like it.
And messy. That's the fans are sorry, no disrespect to the US fans that we have on Blackspin.
Hey, most of our fans are US based.
Yeah, I was going to say it can get a bit
respectfully, guys.
Yeah,
respectfully.
It can be a bit rowdy there, but it's different. That energy is different, and it's good to see. It's good to see because you get to Wimbledon and it's kind of, you know, chinos and hampers and stuff.
Oh God. Expensive Birkin bags.
Yeah. That is literally, I told you, Eugene, I was like, whenever I want to see a Birkin, I just go to Wimbledon. That's my yearly Birkin type of thing. Because that's literally the only time I see a Birkin, like, with my own eyes. Because it's just, like you said, just the nice, rich people walking around. But yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that was like getting to know Uche's segment. So appreciate that, Uche.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, we've got some special thank yous. I think we need to give some shout outs to. So yeah, Miles tuned into tennis. We had him on early this year.
Yeah,
before the Australian.
First pod.
Yeah. So yeah, shouts out to you, Miles, tuned into tennis. Like obviously, you guys can tune into tennis on Twitter and Instagram. Tamani, who should have been here today, but yeah, he's done his back in. He was on various times with us this season.
Yeah.
John Williams, who we interviewed after Wimbledon, Taylor Townsend's coach, which was a great time. Jameer Jenkins as well, who we interviewed after Coco's win at the US Open. And last but not least, you guys, the listeners / followers.
Facts.
Like, why we do this basically.
No, for real. What
a
year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to really say. Like,
what a year.
Or like just to give thanks, really.
Honestly speaking, like it's been very... I just feel so excited, like, for, like, next season now, honestly. Tennis-wise, Blackspin-wise, like, even for us and stuff, like, we've grown, like, a lot, especially since, like, Wimbledon. Since, like, the summer, to be honest, especially since Wimbledon as well. We hear you listeners telling us to come to the US. We'll make it happen 2024, 100%. But yeah, honestly, it's been... I'm speechless, man. I don't have the words. Honestly speaking, like, it's been great. But next year, we're going to be even busier. We're going to have more fun. I do want to announce this now. And I'm sorry for announcing this now and not reminding you, but we have to let them know.
Go.
To celebrate Osaka's coming back, we're going to do a Twitter space of her first match. We spoke about this.
No, we did.
We did. We actually did. Initially, we were going to do a YouTube live. Then I did some research and it's too complicated. Let's keep it simple. We're going to do a Twitter space to celebrate her first match. I feel like a lot of us are excited.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That Brisbane tournament is looking stacked. Like big players are coming.
Yeah.
Both ATP and WTA. I'm looking forward to it so much. So yeah, and these are the type of things that we're going to be doing more, bringing people together. I think that's one thing I love about our platform is that we're not just giving information, but like we're all coming in together and having fun. So yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, retweeting. You know, that's why we have people like Uche coming in, because if we were on one little wasteman platform, we won't be having him. We won't be having like a professional
guest.
here. Yeah, exactly. So
kind.
You know, thank you guys.
Well said, Lucy. And yeah, we will be having another episode. It just won't be in the studio. But it's a special episode we've got coming up. I won't say any more, but
don't say any more because I genuinely do
Lucy's
not
like genuinely lost.
I don't remember what this episode is.
But yeah, look out for that before the end of the year, guys.
Oh, okay. Now
she's remembered.
I remember now.
She's remembered.
Oh yes, yeah. It's a big one.
Guys, like Lucy said, man, just thank you guys for tapping in and basically giving us your ear and eyes for the past year. And yeah, we look forward to basically coming back in 2024 for more shows.
It's gonna be it's gonna be wild.
I always get a bit awkward at the end, like because this is like the final one.
But you know what? Because we did it so late, but it's like I feel like we're gonna be posting very soon. Because I was like, oh my gosh, long break. And I was looking at the calendar. I was like, Brisbane is literally on the 31st.
Yep.
On that as well, like so Christmas, like players don't really celebrate. They don't have the opportunity to celebrate Christmas. So they celebrate Christmas like probably a few days before or like a week before.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Because they've got to travel.
Exactly, because they have to go to Australia. And like, I mean, they're not all going to like bring the whole family with them.
Can't eat that mac and cheese and roast potatoes and that.
So yeah, shouts out to everybody. Man. Just have a great Christmas. But we will see you before the end of the year. So we won't say Happy New Year yet until that final episode.
Fairs.
But Uche, again, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you. And you guys doing an incredible job. Keep it up.
Much appreciated. And yeah, guys, until next time, take care.